Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to my first episode of a podcast I'm going to start. I think I'm just going to call it the JT Lowe Show. Got a nice flow with it. My initials, my last name. You know what I'm saying? Kind of flows. Alright? This is what I have to work with so far. It's a little backdrop. First, you got little Beebs right there. A gift from one of my friends who moved to Oklahoma City. I sung her Justin Bieber in the car one day, so this is like a farewell gift that she gave me. Got some stuffed little things in the back. Got, Donkey Kong and some Minions and Batman and Superman, his little knickknacks, Repping little Krusty Krab hat and my SpongeBob I'm about to head out meme shirt. Couldn't think of anything more fitting for me. So, as people know, or don't know, I am actually from a really small town in central Alabama. I know, I live in the city now, and a lot of people think that just because I live in the city now, I'm a goofy dude. I like to dress and do funny things, whatever to do. They don't think of oh, he's a city boy. He ain't like us. Nah, I just don't take myself too seriously, you know what I'm saying? Never have, never will. I've always just liked to goof off instead of trying to act like a hardo, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try to be all big and bad, But with that being said, a lot of people like to think Huntsville is a small town. And I'm just like, no. And even when I was in Tuscaloosa, a lot of people were like, oh, Tuscaloosa's a small town. I was like, is it really though? Nah. So, everyone says that, but they really know, right? If you have a Walmart, a McDonald's, etc., bro, you are considered a city to me. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from, dude, all we had, bro, that was a chain, was a Subway and a Dollar General, and they will literally throw them boys up anywhere. You look at any BFE location, and I guarantee you the first establishment that goes up is going to be a Dollar General or a Subway. I mean, we're really fortunate to have those, you know what I'm saying? There are some places I've been that don't have either. Hell, they don't even have their own zip code. They have to just share some other cities, zip code. They don't even have their own. That's kind of where my dad was from. And you just know you're just in the country when you don't see a really noticeable gas station. All you see is a Piggly Wiggly. You don't know BFE grocery stores until you've seen a Piggly Wiggly. And I guarantee you about 95% of y'all don't even know what that is. But it's this gas station mascot's like a pig. I see t-shirts and it's I dig the pig. It's great. Sell them in camo and everything, dude. Whole 9 yards. It's some really great memorabilia, to say so. And my dad's small town is even smaller than the one I grew up in. He lives there now, so when I say I go home, I'm actually going to where his hometown is. And that one is so small, I guess what you would consider to be downtown is just 2 gas stations right across from each other in a little local bank. Hell, the Piggly Wiggly there is just extended out of the back of one of the gas stations. And it's not very big at all. But it is adorable. It is awesome. I go there all the time, And, but that's it, There's, no chain restaurants for the most part. Like I said, Subway. Subway doesn't really count. But, if there was a chain restaurant being open, it would be, the biggest event, in the whole thing. Everybody would be chirping about it. It would be the equivalent to a normal city getting a Six Flags or something. You know what I'm saying? The line would be out the door just like a ride, All 100 of us would be there. Whole town. We might have to just close the schools and everything. They would get off work for the grand opening. It would be a hit. But yeah, small town, everyone knows everyone. So there's some perks, it does feel like you're home every time you're there. You got hometown, whatever. Oh, it's my hometown. It really feels like home if you're in a small town. But, it comes with some bad things, right? You got people always in your business, and everyone knows your business. Hell, I think, it's so bad. I think the parents get bored sometimes, and they're just as much involved as little high school drama as we are. And, like, I wasn't really much for it. I tried to stay out of it as much as I could, but, life goes on, and sometimes you get pulled into it. But, what I really love is, like, how laid back it was. Really wasn't much formalities, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I swear, like, it was so chill. Like, you could wear Crocs to church, and then, like, no one would even, like, second guess it or, like, throw any judgment. But, oh, that's what's up, sick kicks. A big city might have to wear, like, a tie or, like, like a nice little sundress there, dude. No one really cared. We were just all there, just all chilling. Like, matter of fact, when I was little, I had a Power Rangers obsession, right? Obsession, my bad. Ooh, get a little tongue-tied. My mom told me one day I just refused I wanted to wear my Power Ranger Halloween costume to work. Not work, to church. So, she let me. And that's just how laid back it was. But, later I would have Power Rangers suspended from me because, a little crackhead Jordan, I still got some of that energy I carry around with me, you know what I'm saying? But, I went around kicking people and, trying to be like a ninja, Power Ranger, whatever. So I kind of had Power Rangers suspended for me, until I, got out of the stage where I was, kicking everyone. But I mean, like, people really be living off the land out there, right? People, you probably had some deer, maybe, like some venison. That's probably the most popular, like, North American game to eat, I know people who've killed their own turkeys and eat them. I know people who eat dove, eat ducks. But probably one of the most bizarre things, other than the squirrel, people, I got some squirrel dumplings. I ain't no chicken in dumplings, but, if you're going to serve it to me, don't tell me what's in it. I'll just eat it. But one of my friends there, this sounds like the most hillbilly thing ever, right? They would catch possums, right? They would catch possums and cook them. And I was like, okay, that might be where I draw the line right there. But, he sweared up and down that if you put a possum in a crock pot with sweet potatoes, it would be like, chef's kiss, one of the best things ever. Apparently you have to catch them, put them in like a little kennel. And then they would just like clean it out with dog food while it's in there. I guess they clean out the guts. I really don't know. I've never cooked a possum. I mean, don't really plan to in the near future. I like my chicken fingers, you know what I'm saying? Deer meat, I'm down for that, Turkey, love turkey, good stuff. I'd rather have a steak than a possum. I don't know about you guys. But, there really wasn't much going on, Probably the biggest event that happened in my hometown was this thing called the Cotton Fest. And this sounds kind of strange. But, it was cute. It was cute. We had a little 5K, people would bring like little trades, like, I made these candles, I made these jams, I made all these things, like this woodworking, you know what I'm saying? Had a little 5K race, my mom ran in it one time, he wasn't gonna catch me running in it. I ain't trying to exercise if I ain't got to. You only gonna catch me running nowadays if I'm playing ball or if something chasing me. That's about it. I'm walking, you know what I'm saying? But it was cool, and if you were lucky enough, you could win the pageant and be the cotton queen, A nice little pageant and everything. It was a legit thing. It was awesome. We didn't really have much bars around, we didn't have zero nightlife in a small town, but apparently there was this small bar on the outskirts of town. I drove by on the way to the lake, But, I was, even when I turned 21 and I was back there, I was never going to go there, right? But, as lame as it sounds, apparently there was some good entertainment there. We had this, this little person, and he was a character for sure. He'd be willing to fight. He would be ready to go toe-to-toe with you if you ever talk bad about Garth Brooks or The Rock. How fitting, Country music and WWE. I couldn't think of anything more like small-town redneck than that, right? But apparently on Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day, this guy would give you a treat, and he would dress up as a leprechaun and as Cupid and start pole dancing in there. Now that I think about it, that might be something worth visiting. I don't know if he still does it, I don't know if he's still retired, but that might be something we need to bring back. That'd be a sight to see for real. Maybe we should make him a little TikTok channel or something, get himself out there. I'm sure he would be a hit. But yeah, for the most part, we didn't have much. You know, we always had to drive to other cities if we want to go see like a movie. You know, places to shop. You know, good places to eat. You know, that's about like you have to do that. You know, unless you want to go to the hardware store. I mean, that's probably the biggest building we got down there, honestly. But for most of the time, most of the entertainment was either, if it wasn't, you know, high school sports, it was, you know, a bonfire or just hanging out in someone's house for the most part. You know, other than those people who always wanted to chill out in the church parking lot, you know, had a little gravel lot out there. And I guess what you would consider our downtown area. But for some reason, there was always people out there. And for some reason, it seemed like people really like to go hook up at the playground not too far down the road. I don't know about that one. It's kind of sketchy. But, you know, we didn't have much to do. Matter of fact, for homecoming, it was like a tradition the whole week where like you would get with your friends, you know, we'd get together on a school night. You know, we were wild. But we would get together and we would go roll people's houses, right? So, like, I don't know if for those who don't know what that is. It's where you just go buy a bunch of toilet paper, throw it in the trees, throw it around, wrap it around their mailbox, whatever. And you know, it was actually a lot of fun. You know, sneaking around with a bunch of toilet paper. You know, you got trash bags around you, walking around like you're freaking Santa Claus or something, just chunking in people's yards. It was an absolute blast. You know, until it happened to me, right? It was fun getting everyone else, but until it happened to me. You know, one day I was like, you know what? My parents were gone. It was a week. I can't remember why. I think I got home early from school. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'll just be a dude. You know, I got here and I'll clean it up. But then, like, you know, there's some stuff up in the tree. And I was like, how am I going to get it out of here? I mean, that's a pretty big tree. I don't feel like getting a ladder, right? So what I did, you know, little dumb me, I thought it'd be a good idea to just light it on fire. You know, just send it up. Send it right on up. Just let it burn out the tree. You know, and it worked. It worked like a charm. It worked great, you know, until one got away from me and just kind of set the whole pasture on fire, you know. And I was like, oh no, here we go. I was like, I'm about to burn up this whole pasture and I'm about to have this thing looking like California out here, you know. But, you know, it was kind of crazy. You know, I had, like, people, like, stopping by. Like, people were, like, beating it with the mats that they put in their windshield to, like, reflect the sunlight out. And then, like, this exterminator, you know, had, like, the tanks in the back of their truck. He had pulled over the side of the road, started squirting it with the exterminating, like, reservoir in the back. And, you know, but luckily we got it out, you know, and they were just like, man, these reckless people just throwing cigarettes out their car. And I was like, yeah, man. Those people suck. Almost burned my pasture on fire. F those guys. I didn't tell them it was me, but, you know, I told my parents about it. They thought it was a hoot, you know. But, you know, besides, like, you know, almost started probably like a wilderness fire. But as crazy as that is, you know, going around, sneaking around people's houses out there in the, you know, rural area of Alabama, it's amazing we didn't get shot at, you know. I mean, most people rather just grab the shotgun, you know, right by the bed instead of just, you know, calling 911. So, you know, unless it was in a subdivision, you know, we were going out to somebody's house on a country, back county road. I mean, we were kind of playing with our lives right there. It was kind of something, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, it got really crazy one time we had this one crazy dude, right? I didn't do this, but one of my friends was with him rolling. The dude ended up chasing him with like a hammer and a samurai sword. And I don't know about you, but that would probably be a little bit more terrifying than a shotgun. I don't know, like just the image of it in itself, you know. I don't know. That's crazy. They said something about they had to shoot him with paintball guns. I don't know, but that was the class above me. The class above me was crazy. Matter of fact, the last day of the week on Friday, now it was like a known thing that the graduating class was going to roll the school. Now, I don't really remember what our class did. I don't even know if we really even got it that good. You know, all these principals were like, this is your school. You should take care of your stuff. Why would you want to vandalize your own stuff? This is yours. Take pride in it. Let's not roll school. Let's break that tradition. You know, and even the parents were like, yeah, screw that. They would act like the cops were going to be out there staking it down. Like no one's going to get out there. But I honestly think the cops that were from the area, they were kind of in on it. To be honest, it was like a thing. They had like freaking party streamers through trees. I'm talking colors. The breezeway looked like it had curtains on it. Somehow they even got desks on the roof. Like it literally looked like this place snowed. They had confetti, like confetti, glitter everywhere. It was probably the hardest I've ever seen anything hit in my life. And I will give props to that graduating class. They were phenomenal. It was wild. But, if you're from a small town, pretty much Friday night entertainment is pretty much just a high school football game. And granted, I haven't been back in years, but, there's still some people who get just as much caught up in it as, like, it's a staple point in their lives. I don't know, I guess. They are so dramatic about it. They get super involved. I'm like, bro, it's just kids, bro. They're just playing high school. It's not that big a deal, but they didn't have anything. Like I said, biggest hangout we had out there that people would go hang out at was either a football game, and after that, some people would go to that church parking lot, and then, if you're a cool kid, you got to drive over to the next town and go to the Waffle House, But the finest dining we probably had there was probably this Mexican restaurant. Everyone went there. You would see everyone. It was the place. Other than that, probably the best fast food restaurant we had. I love Subway. We had Subway. But the best fast food restaurant we had was a gas station. They had like fried chicken. You go in there, they have hamburgers, barbecue sandwiches, biscuits, everything. Shout out to DNR. They would honestly put a lot of these real fast food businesses to shame. They knew what they were doing. It was phenomenal. But also, the biggest attraction my town had was the mud bog. And I'm not kidding. It really was. I would go to like another small town, just wherever it might be. I remember I went somewhere that was like 3 hours away. And, I tell people where I'm from. And no one ever knows where it's at. I have to say, it's a small lake town, like southwest side of Lake Martin, about 30 minutes north of Montgomery, whatever, whatever. But granted, I was in small town Alabama, but on out there, and I said the name of my town, and they said, "Wait, is that where the mud bog is?" And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." Other rednecks come over to our town just for the big old mud bog. I think it was just like a dried up pond, and they would just get crazy out there. Matter of fact, a country rapper named Colt Ford did a concert out there. I don't know if y'all know who he is. Y'all definitely gotta look him up. He's kind of a hoot. Very, 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 very redneck bops. I mean, he had for his songs are like Chicken and Biscuits and Mud Diggers. I mean, you could just imagine where that's gonna go. But for the most part, we had to make our own fun. Like whether it was like kneeboarding behind 4-wheelers, doing reckless stuff with fireworks, throwing a bunch of them in the back of a dump truck, see what would happen. Hooking up a winch across a pond and just building a ramp in a slip and slide, and the winch would just pull you and just ramp you up into the middle of the pond. I mean, you would go, you get some air. I mean, it was one of my buddies who ended up going to swim at Auburn. He did that, and it was absolutely insane. But I mean, one of my friends, they even spotlighted a deer. And that's one thing. Don't let the game warden catch you. But, some people, rednecks like to have entertainment and they like to hunt. And, sometimes they do things illegally. But one time he, shot a deer out of the back of a truck. The buddies, he shot it. And then he went to go collect it, Buddies drove off, just, so there wouldn't be a car parked there. They drove around and they came back. And then he was like, go, 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 go. I'm like, what? And he said, I didn't shoot no deer. I shot this guy's goat. And I was like, dude, that is absolutely tragic. Some poor innocent goat was just out there just chilling in the nighttime, just out there grazing, all of a sudden just gets plowed with a 30-06. I mean, hunting's a big thing in small town Alabama for sure. I mean, people just roll right in, from camouflage, right in the first period, right? We like matter of fact, we even had some folklore, small town folklore of this teacher who, back before there were all these like restrictions and everything was like, a little less sensitive, not as strict. Apparently he had just a rifle just in his in his like I guess in his classroom, and he saw his deer in a pasture outside the window and just shot it. And that's just kind of the town we lived in. It was very, very redneck, but hey, like I said, I wouldn't change a bit. Being a small town, there's not really much to choose from, in the dating life, right? So, I swear, like, my friends, they kind of like, it was almost like they were just taking turns dating the same, like, 5 to 10 pretty girls in the whole school. It really wasn't much. So, I don't blame them. If you're going to, like, stay and, pick in the school, they were making the right moves. Like, they were, by far, probably the prettier girls there. It might not be saying much, but it was. But me on the other hand, I got out of town. I had to go. I dated girls that were like on down the road. You know what I'm saying? Bougie, high maintenance, high life. They lived in cities with Walmarts. They were uptown, which was good. No one really knew all of my dating life. It kind of gave me some privacy. Like I said. These small town relationships, like everyone will know everything. But for me, on the other hand, I got out of there. The whole like dating everyone in the school kind of got old for me after 7th grade. But yeah, so I live in city limits now. But growing up, I never lived in the city limits. So we had a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Like me and my next door neighbor did whatever we wanted, man. Like. We just ride around, just do whatever, had plenty of space, freaking jumping hay bales, messing with cows, whatever, airsoft floors galore. But I'd never lived in the city limits until I went to college, And, I've never had to drive. When I was going in high school, I didn't have to drive through a red light. And then when I go to college, I think I counted it and it was like 22 or 26. And I was like, oh, man. This same drive would be like 8 to 10 minutes back home, but now because I'm in the city, all these red lights got me going about 25, 30 minutes to school. What a blast. All I really passed on the way to school back home was a dairy farm, a feed mill, and some cotton fields. But, it was very scenic route. Yeah. But it was nice. It took me a while to get used to going through so many red lights. It really did. But for the most part, I had a lot of fun. Most of my friends, they could probably talk me into doing anything, once I got comfortable. But it's kind of ironic, though, because up until like 9th grade, when I was in middle school, I was terrified to do anything in public. I remember, like, even when I was little, we would see, like, some girls, that I don't know what it was, but I was so embarrassed to talk to girls that I knew or was friends with, like, in elementary school or whatever, just because I didn't want my dad or my mom, like, pick on me, like, ooh, who's that? You know what I'm saying? So if I, like, saw, like, one of my friends was a girl out in public, I just hit one of these little quick waves, like, and just, like, go on about my business. I was like, I didn't even know them, but it wasn't because of them. Like, it wasn't friends, it was just because I didn't want to, like, get teased. But also, I was terrified to dance with girls, or, dance in general, whatever, which is kind of crazy to believe right now if you're looking at me right now. Now that's like all I do is my thing. I just get crazy. But what really changed me was my freshman homecoming dance, right? And the reason why I was absolutely terrified, did not want to do anything in front of anyone. But then my friend had an older sister who was a senior, and yes, she was attractive, and she grabbed my hand and said, let's go dance. And she was cute, so I wasn't going to say no. And I'm pretty sure we were dancing to, like, I don't know, like Waka Flocka, No Hands. And after that, I was hooked. And then, I kind of like, I guess, got used to doing stuff in public and a little bit more, and kind of broke free. They would talk me into anything, I did morning announcements, believe it or not. Like, good morning, ECHS. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All that jazz, reading out the lunch menu. having to read little notes that all these teachers would send up handwritten and just botching all the words because I couldn't read their handwriting. It was great. But, one of the more fun things I had done there was they taught me into being in a halftime show. I've been in some pep rallies, people love pep rallies. I did some skits, like me and my buddy, we did a skit, it was superhero theme, so like, me and him were Batman and Robin, we did a fight, not Batman and Robin, he was Batman, I was Joker, we did a little fight scene out there. He won, and he was representing our school, and I was trying to be the other school, whatever. It was lit. There was another time when it was like Star Wars, or nerd theme, but I brought a lightsaber, because Star Wars is nerdy, I guess, right? And I like won best dress. It was one hell of a fit. I actually had like Croc flip-flops with socks on, gym shorts with suspenders, a white long sleeve button up, and a bow tie and some glasses with some tape and the alfalfa hair. Iconic. But I won it. I had to twirl my lightsaber and did the force push, and then like the whole football team fell down like I pushed them with the force. It was phenomenal. Did all kinds of things, dance offs out there, whatever. For the most part, they knew I would bring some sort of energy. Womanless beauty pageant that made me do that. Signed me up for Beauty and Bow. If they felt like they were lacking personnel, they knew who to call, I guess. But one time they were like, "Hey, we need somebody to fill in for this halftime show," and I was like, "What?" But like the girl that was talking to me was like one of my best friends. She was like, please do it, we need people, blah blah blah. She was super into drama, whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, what do I have to do? And I thought I was just acting right, but turns out it was a World War II like themed halftime show. And I know it sounds kind of bizarre, but it was kind of a hit, right? And it was crazy. So some things happened. I ended up getting like being so it's the band's playing whatever, but we were actors and we were like doing like some choreography or whatever. Now it's kind of different, but I kind of ended up falling to like this like lead role eventually, and it was kind of poetic, so it would start off and then like there's these couples dancing in the park, there's in the park vibing, this little acting, little dance routine, like some swing dancing or whatever, and then me and the girl I was partnered with, I was proposing to her in the middle of the field, and one of my friends, he was kind of like a younger couple, like just dating, and then one of my other friends on the other side of the field, they're like newlyweds with a kid, right? So it starts off like that, it's kind of like setting the mood for like the 1920s or whatever, and then it went into like this war scene, right? Eventually, so like FDR spoke. We played that, and then we did like a little boot camp scene. We did a march in the parade, and then there was this big battle scene, and everyone died but me, and I had to carry someone off from the 50-yard line off the field like he was a dead body. I was carrying him back. And then the last scene, they played When a Man Loves a Woman, and with that, it was like a reuniting moment between me and the girl I like proposed to, the 50-yard line of the field. And it was big. There's this big kiss scene, whatever. It was wild, right? I didn't think the band could be that fun. I'm so sorry, but like, I did think, completely underestimated. That band director I played sports, played college baseball, whatever. That band director gave the most lit pep talk I've ever heard in my life. Ever. Every time. It was insane. This guy had me about ready to run through a wall. And I'm just going out there to do a halftime show. But it was a different experience. Being out there, band competitions, all these people watching you, and then they just cheer. And then it was almost like I was like Justin Bieber or something. Like, I don't know. The kiss scene just got the people. I don't know what it was. People would like be saluting the flag when we came across the parade. Very patriotic moment. Some people would tear up because, they're vets and everything. But very, very wholesome halftime show. Super well thought out. It deserves a Grammy Award for real. But I had a blast with that. Really high school all that like formed me, I guess, into like me being super outgoing as I am today. Which, thank God, right? I have a lot more fun than if I was just the person standing on the side of the dance floor with their arm crossed, scared to do anything. It is so much more fun cutting loose and just like, it's kind of like liberating, you know what I'm saying? It's so fun. But yeah, I mean, it was super low maintenance, you know? You just learn to appreciate the little things. You know, in a small town, material things really just don't mean that much. You know, you didn't have to have the nicest cars, most fashionable clothes. I mean, hell, when I first got to college, my swag was whack. I felt like I was a bum, bro, because this is how we were dressed. You know what I mean? You know, most people there just drive old trucks, just wear T-shirts everywhere they go. But you know, despite how boring this might sound, I really enjoyed it. It was a great time there. I wouldn't trade the experience growing up there for nothing. Miss everyone there. A lot of great people, a lot of great memories, you know. But we were all proud to be there. You know, I mean, it was like we can talk bad about our town. But if you talk bad about our town, then we got a problem for the most part. You know, we were real quick to step in and correct you. Like, yeah, well, we're next to the nicest lake in the whole state. You know, we got this and this and this. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, we're not stuck up like you. Blah blah blah. I don't know. We would come at you, you know. We would defend it. We were proud. We were proud of where we were from, which is this is awesome, you know. But even though, as much as I loved it, you know, I am super glad I got out of there and kind of experienced different things. Luckily for me, I was just kind of chasing baseball and engineering school for the most part. And with that, it got me out of there. You know, I could have been like everyone else and just went to the college. I was just 30 minutes down the street. But, you know, I'm going to, you know, across the state to different schools. You know, I played junior college baseball. Then I finished at a 4-year. But, you know, I had the time of my life in those years, you know, playing junior college baseball especially, and then like all the things, people I've met, things I've done. You know, I never would have done all these things if I'd have stayed at home and just where I was comfortable. You know, I mean, a lot of people there just have never left. You know, they're still dating the same people, hanging out with the same people, doing the same things. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out to some extent, but I'm very thankful that I got uncomfortable and went and did my own thing. Because even though, you know, I might have felt like an outcast at times, you know, I mean, the schools I went to, I was the only person I knew showing up. So I had to make friends fast, you know. Built a lot of character, you know. Getting uncomfortable is the only way you're going to grow. So that I wouldn't change for anything. Thanks.